Good morning. It is Milby in the Morning on this Monday, and I don't even know the date. What is the date? It is Monday, January the 14th, 2019. With me is my friend, Bart Lovins, Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, joining us on this Milby in the Morning. And look at that. I'll put this graphic up that tells everybody it's Milby in the Morning.
I see that.
There you go. So, again, I'll apologize. I'm still learning. Bart and I, we're a little late getting started because Allison, who's sitting over here, she's as enamored with this stuff as I am, and you have no idea what we're even doing. So, But again, I also want to apologize to you publicly because when I asked you to come in to do this with us, I said, "Hey, you want to come in and talk about Dracula?" And you're like, "Sure, but why are we talking about Dracula? Because that's not it. The Pac Pro Am that opens this week is not Dracula. It is Sherlock Holmes."
Because I could talk about Dracula. I got lots of Dracula information. Maybe at a different month and time.
Maybe if you decide to do that down the road, we'll
exactly.
Pull that one in.
But yeah, I have a long history with that character too.
Man, look straight ahead. Look at that camera.
All right, everybody. I don't even see the camera.
There's a camera right there in front of us. Okay, look. All right. Everybody's been doing this on Facebook where you're showing yourself when you first went on Facebook. That's it. This is what happens after 12 years. All right. I'm sorry. I just had that in my head. I
was like, I have no idea what we're doing.
You're not doing that? You haven't done that yet?
No.
Oh, dude, I would like to see that. You take, apparently the deal is, I did it. You take the first profile picture you ever posted on Facebook, and you take the last profile picture you posted on Facebook.
And does it morph?
No, you post both of them, and that way people will go, "Oh, it's like how hard have you aged?"
So yeah, for me, it would be if you like had an animation that would morph from the old Bart to the older Bart. It'd be like a melting candle. I just feel like gravity is just pulling everything down.
I was waiting because I was like, "Oh, I don't want to post that picture, the very first one," and I did, and I posted one that was, one of the last ones I posted. And I thought I was waiting because you know how your friends are. They're gonna hammer you. Man, it's been, I felt like I won the lottery. Everybody's been very complimentary. Like, you've aged very well. I didn't have a beard then either.
Sure.
So, and I had like extra rolls. I was almost like a bakery. I had stuff everywhere. But
and I've got all these old resume photos from when I was acting.
Is it on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you gotta do that.
I've got Allison's seen it. My John Schneider Dukes of Hazzard resume photo is probably the funniest one. Long blonde hair, mustache. All
right. Before we get anything else, why would you have a John Schneider Dukes of Hazzard style?
It was the look at the time.
What time was that? Was it like 4:30 in the afternoon, or were we talking dates?
Probably about 80, 89, 90.
So you had
pre-mullet.
So it wasn't a mullet.
No. Although I had that too.
Okay. Wow, I'm learning a lot here with Bart. All right, so and we could go all day with this kind of stuff. I'm telling you. But first of all, thank you for again. I've talked about this on Quixie a lot, but I want to make sure I say this every time because I truly mean it. Thank you for what the PAC means to this community. I really truly mean that.
And it's. I'm always really careful, as you know, about sharing the credit. I get to do I have a great toy box to play in, but what makes it special is the people that I work with on a daily and monthly basis, and the volunteers that come in, and knowing that I'm able to create and provide things for our community that I myself did not have growing up in the community. Yeah. And to be able to come back home and do that kind of stuff has always been real important to me, more so than I ever thought it would be.
It means a lot. And as my seventh grader Garrett absolutely loves the PAC. He would spend time there all the time if you needed somebody to clean up. Well, that may not work because he doesn't clean anything. But anything else you would need, he would definitely do that because it means a lot to him. And I've seen it through all the years of interviews with the PAC Kid Spotlights, what it means to other kids. And it means a lot to this community. And leading into the Pac Pro Am, when you go and see a Pac Pro Am, it's you have to stop and think and go, wait a minute, those are amateurs and those are people that live around here. I mean, it's a high quality show. No pressure to make Sherlock Holmes great, but
and it's when we first opened our doors, it was really important to me to find where our facility would fit in the community. And one of the things that I learned very quickly when I was producing in New York was you have to do something that sets you apart from everyone else who's doing similar things. There's no point in reproducing what someone else is doing well. You've got to find your own niche. And when we opened, you had a long history of quality community performing arts with youth theater and with Hardin County Playhouse. So I very quickly discovered that what our niche was to do that next jump and combine professionals with amateurs for the next jump up in quality. And then to also do things like Missoula Children's Theater, which Garrett's done several times, which then kind of, because it's for elementary school students and middle school students, it kind of prepares students to audition for youth theater. And then they do youth theater. And then they do Hardin County Playhouse. And then they come to us and they start doing Pro-Ams. And some of them do go on to professional things. Most do not. But it's a community building thing. It's knowing that you're doing something for others. It's life skills that it gives you.
Oh, very much so. I've got a friend of ours, and I won't mention her name, but very shy girl. But she was on the stage, and really just kind of has blossomed over the last year or so. From the shy person she is off stage to on stage, you're like, who is that kid? They are, and it's just, it explodes. And I still believe that you should sell tickets to the audition for Missoula. Because as a parent that is set through that process and you watch all these kids, you're like, oh, there are 170 kids in here, and there are 2 people on the stage trying to control them. This is going to be very entertaining. Where is the popcorn? But they control it.
It's like that.
And you're like, all right, I feel like a horrible parent. No, I can't control 2, and they've got these here.
Well, and I've said to several teachers and administrators, we've had a few elementary school teachers who have a student involved, and they'll come for the whole week and sit in on the rehearsals. And you go, okay, that's how I can put together, 3 Little Pigs or whatever at my school. This is how I can teach this in a way that keeps everything moving.
And we'll get to that again in a minute too with Missoula, because I know they've got another opportunity for kids this school year to participate in Missoula. But let's talk about not Dracula. Let's talk about the novel adventures of Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet. All right, so it opens Thursday, which I'm sure you know that, and we'll put this little graphic up there for folks that are watching this, or if you're listening, you'll be able to get it as well, because this opens Thursday night, and it runs through Sunday this week, and then again next Thursday through Sunday. Talk about the cast. Because we see these familiar folks on stage. Who are we going to have a chance to see?
Well, it's a cast of 10. They play. I did count it up, and I can't remember. I think it was something. It's sometimes my dyslexia gets in the way. They play 34 or 43 characters. I can't remember. Not all of them speaking roles, but in speaking roles, they play about 24 characters between the 10 of them. And it's a wonderful mix of professionals and amateurs. Sherlock is played by a gentleman called Landon Scholler out of New Albany. And he's done some things up at Center Stage, done some dinner theater work up in Indiana and so forth. And he was also in our production of Hunchback a couple of years back. So he's back with us as Sherlock Holmes. Our Watson is Jared Eaton, who is a teacher at Central Hardin High School and has done several things with us in Hardin County Playhouse. Moira Taylor, who is the wife of our technical director, is in as Mrs. Hudson and several other characters. And then Erin Brangers Cunnigan, or Erin Cunnigan, I think she is now, who is...
She dropped the Brangers, huh?
I think she dropped that fast. Okay. But she works with the Dance Center of Elizabethtown as an instructor there, and this is her first non-musical that she's ever done.
Oh.
We have Billy Bass, who works with Stephen Foster out in Bardstown. And then we have Drake Gillespie, who's from Mount Sterling and is a professional actor who's also done things with us in the past. He was our Hunchback and was in Peter and Starcatcher last year and does things at Stephen Foster. And I'm trying to go through the list. Justin Hornback, who works with us in the box office, is back on stage in a role. Jake Richardson, who has done several things with Hardin County Playhouse, is making his Pac Pro Am debut. And Mickey Anderson, who is a doctor in Bardstown, has done several things with
Mickey
us.
oh my gosh. Mickey is amazing. I will, yeah.
He's worth the price of admission alone.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, where did that come from?
And Ron Blair. Ron Blair is also.
And Ron's great, too.
Yeah.
Ron can play the male role or the female role. No offense, Ron, but I've seen him do that. But, yeah, so Sherlock Holmes, the novel adventures of Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet at the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Again, that opens Thursday night. And a great cast, and a lot of these folks I've had a chance to see. I actually had a chance to work with a few of those for A Christmas Carol,
right.
Which was great. And that's where Mickey, I was like, I had to sit next to this guy, and I'm like, I got to go after this guy. he was that great. But the interesting thing about this production is who wrote this production. Who wrote this production?
Well, honestly, Arthur Conan Doyle, but...
Who made it better?
No, I don't know, but I made it shorter.
Oh, that was a short joke.
Yeah,
with Bart
exactly.
Lovins right here on the Milby In The Morning on Kentucky's Heartland. So you had a chance to kind of redo this a little bit.
Well, 20 years ago when I was in New York, and unable to get hired as an actor, I had kind of aged out of playing children's roles. You know, when you're my size, you play Pinocchio and Oliver Twist.
Was
and,
it the beard that aged you out?
No. Well, I had to shave the beard to get hired. That was the whole thing. But then I started going bald, and so those roles kind of dried up.
Yeah.
And I was in between child actor and dad roles. And so I was having difficulty getting hired, and it happens a lot in New York. When you can't find work, you make work. And so with a friend, we formed a production company called Spinning Graves Productions. We called it that because we couldn't afford to pay royalties on anything, so we would use things that were in public domain, and then we would adapt them for a modern audience. So the author would be spinning in his grave if he saw what we did with his work, that kind of thing.
I get that. Okay.
So the first three, and now at this point, all four of the Sherlock Holmes novels were available in public domain. So I had always had a love for Sherlock Holmes growing up as a kid in the old Basil Rathbone movies and stuff. And so I revisited them, and we decided to adapt the first one. It's unique. It was unique at that time because, and this is one of the things people will kind of go, well, duh, that makes perfect sense now. But 20 years ago, it was unique to have a Sherlock and a Watson in their 20s. At the beginning, at that point, we were used to Basil Rathbone in his 40s or 50s, and a doddering old Nigel Bruce playing Watson. But to see these two characters before they are the iconic characters that we have come to love over the centuries, to see that friendship develop at an early age, fresh out of college, fresh out of the military, that was really exciting to me. And then the prospect of then working with those actors over the course of several years to see the characters, see them age into the characters that we know and love. So that was the whole premise when I adapted these novels in New York. And we had just gotten to the point here. You know how it is sometimes where you go, got it. That's it. Now we're ready to do this. I really don't precast, but it would be silly to do a production that you didn't have an idea of who was available to play those roles. Cart before the horse kind of thing. But after Hunchback 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I have that's my Sherlock Holmes, Landon. That's the guy who can fill that role. And Jared, that's my Watson. And everything else is up for grabs. Let's see what we can pull together.
So that's why you waited this long to bring this out of the closet?
Yeah, exactly. Dusted off.
Yeah.
Did some tweaking. I think I'm a better writer, and I'm certainly a better director than I was 20 years ago. And to apply what I've learned over the last 20 years to that script and tighten things up a little bit.
Anything else that you've written that you may have in mind for the future?
Well, I also already have adapted Sign of Four and Hound of Baskervilles. And
You worked on Forrest Gump?
No, sorry.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Anyway, so will we see those in upcoming seasons? At the
I'm
Pac?
hoping. Ticket sales are brisk for Studying Scarlet. I got to find out what the actual audience reaction to it is. It's great that there's ticket sales, but people come and go, "Oh, that was great. You want to see another one?" Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you're like, okay. So do you think the big screen version of it has helped people buy tickets to this, or is it because it's that bad? Maybe they're like,
Well, I think other than the latest big screen version, I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's good. So tickets, you can get those now at thepac.net. And what are the ticket prices?
I think there's like $7 up to $27, something like that. It's all on the website.
So $7 up to $27. Thepac.net. You can get those tickets. You can find more information about Sherlock Holmes. And I was very impressed that you wrote that and or adapted that. I want to say that because see, I know you're shocked after you've seen my acting abilities, even with the script, that you're shocked that my knowledge of a lot of theater is really not that good. So,
well, and this is really interesting too. When we did it in New York, the kindest review that we had was from the Sherlock Holmes Society in their newsletter, and they said the best thing about this production is it is exactly as you pictured it in your mind, because we have the whole set is 4 chairs, and we move those chairs in different configurations on a revolving turntable stage. So it's that the audience has to fill in the blanks. So if you imagined that 221B Baker Street had purple wallpaper, then it has purple wallpaper because that's what you're bringing to the show.
Oh, so I've got to work.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why we keep the ticket prices cheap, because you have to,
Well, okay. And when I brag on productions, it's because they're that good. Because my attention span is not very good at all.
Well, this goes at a clip too. This is fast.
I like that. So we have this, and then we have Macbeth, and then we have the Missoula Children's Theater production of Robin Hood, and that wraps up this season.
It does.
Okay. So how have you felt the season has gone so far with ticket sales and reaction in the community? Well,
we had a big start with Mamma Mia, and saw a lot of faces in the theater that we've never seen before. That's just a really fascinating piece of musical theater to me. It defies logic. It defies explanation. People just love it. And then we had 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was not our best attended show, but was fascinating in its use of technology and projections for scenery. And one of the things that I like to do as a producer-director is push our limitations just a little bit every year, so we get a little bit better. And 20,000 Leagues had a lot of processes that we hope to incorporate in future Pro Am productions. The trend right now is for animated projected backdrops. And that's something that we're really fascinated with and hope to bring into play next year, most likely at this point with the fall musical production of Young Frankenstein.
Cool deal. All right, so thepac.net, you can get all the information you need. Parents, if your kids have ever wanted to try to be on stage, Missoula Children's Theater, Robin Hood, great opportunity. Auditions, I'm not going to bust you on the date because I'm sure they can find it at thepac.net, but it's definitely...
It'll be in April.
And it is an amazing thing. If you've never had a chance to see the Missoula Children's Theater come into town, they come in on a Monday and they leave on a Saturday, and these kids have prepared, and I cannot believe how many lines they've memorized and songs they memorized.
Well, and I've always said, if you tried to do that with adults,
oh no,
if they came up to you and said, okay, you've got to get this show, you've got to memorize these lines in 1 week, adults can't do it.
No,
children don't know what they cannot do, and so they accomplish incredible things.
Yeah, that they do. And so Thursday, it opens Thursday, 7 o'clock, Friday at 7, Saturday at 7, and Sunday at 3 this week for the novel adventures of Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet, and the same for next weekend. Again, thepac.net, the information, you can find it there. A little later on this week, we're going to talk to Joe Bennett. He's got an acting and improv class coming up starting on Thursday, and Joe's going to talk about that. You can find that information at theericandjoeshow.com. Bart, appreciate you coming in.
Sure thing. Let me add just one last thing.
No, you're done. I'm sorry.
What?
No,
Wait.
Okay. All right. What do you got?
If you go online and order tickets for Sherlock Holmes or any of the rest of this season's event, use the online savings code PACBOGO. PACBOGO, buy one, get one free. PACBOGO, all caps, no space.
Man, we need one of those graphics that said, but wait, there's more.
Scroll that.
Because that'd have been great. I'll scroll that later on. All right, he's Bart Lovins, Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. You can find the information at thepac.net. It is Greg Milby. You can find all of our information at Kentucky'sHeartland.com. This is Milby in the Morning with Kentucky's Heartland.